Okay.
Garrett Thompson, Persuasion speech. Shut up. Did anyone vote in this past year's election, or does anybody know who their local and or state government officials are? Because if so, you're among only about 50 to 60% of the American population that actually choose to vote. Today I will be speaking about the problems that arise from poor voter turnout and from lack of knowledge of legislative laws that are being passed and candidates that are being elected into position. I'll also be speaking about the positives that would come about if everyone would go out and vote in local and state government. Lack of voter turnout leads to misrepresentation of the country's views, the county's views, and the city's views, and state's views of what the general public of that area believes should be done for their area. With the low voter turnout, according to the bipartisanpolicy.org, 57.5% of Americans only voted in the 2012 presidential election. That's 30 to 40% of Americans that don't go and vote. That's 40% of the United States whose voice isn't getting heard, who doesn't participate in presidential elections. And if you've only got half of the country putting their views or their votes forth, that's half of the country that doesn't get their say-so. The issues with nobody voting is, of course, you don't get to voice your opinion. The candidate that you are backing may not get elected because you chose not to go vote. By not being involved, many people have no clue of the candidates that are applicable for election. They have no idea of the laws that are being passed, what the candidates stand for. So the solution to this would be to first become involved in your local city, city council meetings, things of that nature, so that you can learn about local legislation that may be passed, local candidates, what they stand for, their background, their history, so you're not just going in to vote blind for, say, who your parents voted for, or who your best friend votes for. Actually make an opinion based off of your own views, not the media or what anybody else told you. Vote for who you feel should be in office because of your research. Also engage in a peer conversation to gain more knowledge and a more subjective look at legislation and other candidates, and see how your peers in your community and in your state view different people, so you can kind of base off of, vote for the better good, not just straight personal preference. By doing this research on candidates and legislation that may be passed, you'll gain knowledge and better insight and a capability to choose which party affiliate to vote for, and even if you do cross the line because one candidate for one party is better than another candidate, there's no issue with that. It's all for the betterment of society and for America in general. Because if we continue to just vote based upon our parties, then we'll never get anywhere. I mean, personally, I vote Republican on most ballots, but if I know of a Democratic candidate who is better than the Republican candidate, I'll vote for him regardless whether he's Democratic or not, because I feel that he would better our society. And I feel that if more people would do that, it would really show in the way that the government is ran and the things and legislation that are put forward in the past. In conclusion, regardless of view, it is your duty as an American to vote, and without your vote, in my opinion, you do not have the right to argue with any legislation that is passed or any candidate that is voted into office. Deuces.